So I'm starting the broadcast here. I'm just about to start the timer. It's coming up to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking at the short here on NQ. Might just be patient and wait for a reset. Seem to be finding lows here around the 54. If we can break here, possibly looking for a move down to 17,531.25. Just going to take the short just there.
Target filled.
And all my targets were hit on that trade just there. Going to be patient, wait for a reset on the higher time frame. So again, we're looking to see if we hold below where we are around that 17,553, so 553. Looking for that move down to 17,531.25. Just looking for other levels here. Looks like we're starting to head towards that 531.25. Feels a little tempting to get in for a move down towards that level. Market hasn't really pulled back, so be pretty dangerous. Somewhat aggressive. I'd have to have a really aggressive stop. Just seeing how market performs around these lows. If we break through, we should just follow through quickly.
Order
So,
sub order filled.
looking to get out. If we break the
Target
highs,
filled.
looking to get out. Market's hanging around a bit too much here. Looking for that
Target
flush.
filled. Stop filled.
Okay. Trail stop was just hit. Most of my targets were hit. Again, we're looking for that 17.5, 3.125. Possibly an area we could see some support found. And we've just got through that level, went straight through. See if we can bounce back here. Not looking to go counter. Just not looking to go counter here. Looks like we're setting up for a short on the higher time frame. I did take the initial short I was worried about earlier. If we could really fall out here from these lows, we've got the 17,458.50 level we could look at. At the moment, we can see we are consolidating around that 53125. If we were to hold support around this 17,531.25, suppose we could be looking for a move back up to the 80s, but the main level that we're looking at maybe around that 612.50 to 621 range to the upside. Um, I'm just going to mute up here. Again, we are seeing that move away from the 53125. I was somewhat fortunate earlier. I came in, thought I was looking at minis, and it was in fact micros, and that's actually saved me here. Because I would have had dug myself a bit of a hole, but fortunately it was micros. So once I've taken these mini trades that you've just seen, those have pretty much recovered my losses and put me back into some profit here today. Unfortunately, the micros were not recorded, but not recorded correctly, but it should show up in the trade performance later on. I'm just going to go over to the micros chart to have a look. So these were the micros that were taken earlier. As you can see from these micros, I was in fact stopped out. I should have got out earlier, but held the position for far too long, was stopped out. Then, yeah, I then took another position, hit most of the targets, and as prices turned around, had to not most of the targets. As prices turned around, close the position, or seems to be about break even on a portion of it before finally gets into the correct chart and trading the minis here. As you can see, level that we called out is around 53125. Now we've pretty much traveled over 20 points to the upside, almost 30 points. 6125 would be at 30 points from that. There we go. 30 points from that level around 53125. Looks like we have a bullish market staying up here. I may just look at taking a long if I do see a pullback. Must be patient though. So far today, markets are slightly positive. Both ES and QRTY. We've got positive on the gold, negative on oil. As you can see here, the market has come on into a couple of swings here. We've got a couple of swings where the market tested higher before going lower, tested higher before going lower. So it's an area we could possibly see selling here in the market, but I don't place as importance on those levels as I say, for example, the 53125, and as I've mentioned before, well, quite recently, the 17621. Those levels are from higher time frames, so I place greater emphasis on those, even though we do have these minor swing highs, which could act as intraday resistance here on NQ. The market is choppy here around the highs. Um, I prefer a smoother pullback than we're seeing instead of we're chopping around the highs, showing indecisiveness. So I'm just going to stay out for the moment. I'm not on the mic because nothing's pretty much happening. So I'm just waiting patiently for something to set up. Still have 1 hour and 36 left in this window, so plenty of time to be patient. Starting to look like the pullback I was looking for has turned into a near reversal, with prices at the moment looking set to retest that 53125. We went to a high of, let's just see where that was, 570, and as you can see, we've pulled back over 30 points, look poised to head back to that level. Could possibly find support around this consolidation before, or just go all the way down and retest that level. With how far we've pulled back, I'm no longer looking for a long. As we can see, we've just retested the level that we mentioned at 53125, had a bit of a bounce off that level all the way up to 38. So we'll see if we can retest the highs, but with our inability to make new relative highs, we may just see another retest and possibly a break. But we're going to respect the level. We're going to respect the level. We already saw a move from that 31 to 70 off that level. So like 40 points or so off the level. So we've got to respect it. Buyers have shown their hands at that level before. Missed a bit of a trade here. Possibly as prices were about to pull back to level. As prices are at the level, got to stay patient. Like we said, we've seen this level show itself to be support. Again, we're seeing buys step back in at this level. Certainly don't want to be fading it. It's shown itself to have strength. Buyers are interested at this level. We must respect it. If we were to take a trade, our target has to be before the actual level. As we can see with this level here, found support, we've had bounce, pulled back, retested level, made new lows. So if you were in there, you had your stop there, you'd have been stopped out, retested, broke off, broke these highs, but we haven't been able to break away as of yet. So we'll see if we can close back above, make new highs, and see that continuation to the upside. There we are, making new highs. I still have a bit of a short bias here, which could be problematic. There we go. Good strong move. No reason to be thinking short now. Right, there's the flip on the higher time frame. Now looking to take pullback opportunities to go long. Price looks poised here to retest those highs back at 70. Currently about 9 points away. 66.50 definitely within target. Must be careful here. Looks like the looks like a bit of a lower high being put in. Didn't quite get to that 66.50. And just like that, we're actually closer back towards that 31.25 than we are to 70. Now, if I didn't flip my bias to the long side, a short trade would have worked out, but I'm sticking to the plan. Seems we're building momentum for this short here back to the level. Now we're back down here, and we don't seem to build enough momentum to get away from that 31.25, which to me possibly means that we will possibly head lower. Going to stay patient here. If I do take a short, I'm looking to be very tight with my stop. Very tight. Again, we've got this consolidation around this level, around that 53125. Buyers just seem to be holding prices up here. So I've identified the level. I have not taken a single trade off the level being potential support and buyers coming in, even though I've identified it. I did take positions off the level. They would have worked in this instance, but it's not against, it's not part of my rules. So we'll see if the short does set up. Little concerned about pullback looking like a short, me getting in, then it reversing. But, it's part of the risks. Sellers seem to be stepping in here, trying to push price back down towards that 31.25. Seem to be not having a great time of it at the minute, so must be careful. There we go.
Order submitted.
Submit an order.
Order filled.
Order was filled.
Target filled. Target filled. Target filled.
Okay, most of my targets.
Target filled.
All my targets have just been filled. All my targets just been filled on that short. Taking profit. Just close the other profit. Seems all my profits. Just gonna have a check. Just having a check here. Yep. All profits taken before that 31.25 that I was concerned about. So while I'm up on the day, based on a trade count of 8, we've got 2 losers, 3 winners so far. If we have one more success, well, it's just one each. If we have one more success, we're done. If we have a loser, and that would make 3 losers, so it would be 3 winners, 3 losers, possibly done there as well. May not use my max allocation of 8 today. Haven't quite decided. Just going to go on mute. And what we're seeing here is the reason why I wanted to take profits before getting down to the 31.25. Because as we can see, had prices come down towards our level again, pulled back, retested, and as we've seen, prices have headed back off that level again, pretty much almost all the way up to 50. So we're looking at nearly 20 points right there on NQ. So there we are. There's 20 points just right off that level. Very quick move, finding support there. Buyers really looking at this level that we identified earlier. Market is clearly in a range here. If ranges are your speciality, you must be feeling pretty good right now. Today is a kind of day for you. If you're a breakout, you're having issues, I could imagine, because you have support. But But if you're taking downside trades anyway, support would have been causing you some trouble. Just going to head back on mute. This is my first recording um, on OBS. So, well, recording I'm going to publish. I've downloaded it today and just trying to record this session here. Now, I've not optimized any settings in terms of mic and so on, in terms of broadcast length. So I'm unsure as to whether it will record the entire session. We've got the timer on the left-hand side of the screen saying 1 hour and 16 minutes remaining of the session. The goal is for when that timer runs out to end the session. Now, of course, if there's a limit that I have not optimized on OBS here and the recording stops, or there may be issues with my computer or so on, the recording may stop before that. There is a possibility of a short setting up. This time period has been a time period that has caused me a lot of difficulties in the past. 10:30 Eastern Standard Time has routinely been one of the most difficult time periods for me, between 10:30 EST and about 12. We'll see. Possible short setting up. Mm. Seems price is consolidating here around VWAP. Oh wow, that's just moved far too quick for me to get in. I was looking for a short, but that's just moved far too quickly for me to get in. If I was to get in, I'd be chasing, and I'd possibly would have just got out just then if I would have just chased that. So that's the reason why you've got to stay patient, wait for your setup. If you miss it, doesn't matter. There'll be better setups tomorrow, the day after, next week, next month, next year. There'll always be better setups. Don't chase. Oh, wow, there's quite a bit of volatility here in the market. Was looking for that short, but again, didn't quite set up, moved too quickly. Now, based on what we've seen so far, the market constantly heading down towards that 53125. Market being here, you would think it would head towards that level, but it just seems a little bit too obvious. I can imagine they may want to bring it higher, take out these highs here around 57. The obvious level that we're looking at is 31.25. Will the market do what's obvious? I don't know, but that's the clear, obvious level to the downside here. I'm not interested in taking anything here because I've seen in the past where the market looks poised to head towards a level, may come a couple of ticks away, turn around, you have to stop out, and you feel a bit frustrated. So if you're a short, this would be a decision time. You may have thought, well, it's a near slam dunk for it to head towards that level. May have put your stop right there. Now you start to think, should I get out? Will the market put in a lower high and then head towards my target? Those are the questions you start to ask yourself. But as I was mentioning when it was here, that sometimes what seems obvious is not what happens. If it's obvious to you, it's obvious to everyone else. It was a short setup just then, would have hit my target, but again, I'm just really concerned about the market fooling me and heading higher. I'm just really concerned about that. So even though I had the setup, where would it have been on this candle just here, around 45, it would be difficult for me to take it, um, especially after mentioning the possibility of the market coming down and turning around. So we did have what appears to be the lower high put in just there, and the market head down. About going short, I would have been concerned about this area right here, where price is consolidating, being a possible area of support. That would have been another reason for me to not take the short. There we go. If you had the short and you had enough conviction to hold through that pullback, would have got to your target. Pat yourself on the back. Well done. I'm just going to mute up. I've just looked at the recording and I've just realized that the capture has not been capturing the entire time window, as it's not got the entire screen on there. I'm just going to move over the timer. So that's the remaining time on the broadcast here, if everything goes to plan. I've set a time limit for a number of reasons. Uh, One primarily being over trading, um, making good progress, then giving it back later. So I have to work with a time window. I've decided to make it 2 hours. Would you look at that? Feels like Groundhog Day. Seeing the market come back down towards that 53125, and again we've bounced off that level. So, at the expense of being repetitive, if you were a range based trader and you also identify this level, you're you're feeling really good today. Really, really good. Just going to head back on mute. So just going to do a time sync. So yeah, we're going to do a time sync here. Um, so it should just bear with me a second here. There's the current time. There's the current time here on Monday, the 29th of Jan. So we got 10:53 Eastern Standard Time. I suppose we're in wait and see mode at the moment to see whether we're going to break out above this swing high we have here. Saw the selling that came out of that level back down towards this clearly identifiable support. We'll see if we do encounter more selling here, possibly making slightly lower high. But as we've seen, we've had buyers all day. So let's see if the buyers, as they were able to hold the level several times, whether they can start to break some of these lower highs here on NQ. So we broke it there by a couple of ticks. We'll look to see if we can see that follow through to the upside, or whether that we're going to see a bunch of sell orders sitting at that level and drive the market lower. Again, nothing setting up for me here on the higher time frames. We're in this very tight range. The range I'm looking at here on the higher time frame is slightly different to what you can see on the charts. Looking around that 53 to 31, so a very tight range on NQ, around at 20 points or so. I do understand that, of course, we've headed higher. We've had 52, 57, but that's just roughly where I've drawn the range here on NQ. Again, earlier in the broadcast, we did mention beyond the 53125 to the downside. If we did see a break and hold below, we were looking at a move all the way down towards 458.50. So that's 17,000, 458.50. That was the higher time frame level we're looking at to the downside. To the upside, we're looking at 17,621. Based on the volatility we've seen so far today, we may not see either level, but those were the levels that we were looking at, both to the upside and the downside here on NQ on Monday, the 29th of January 2024. I'm just going to head on mute. Looks like we're finally seeing the break of the 53125 level. We'll see if we have that accelerated momentum to the downside, or whether this is a false break and we'll break back above the level and go on to make new highs for the day. So we'll see whether we can sustain the breakout to the downside, especially as we've put in a series of lower highs, or whether we'll see the breakout to the upside. Seems like there's nothing to see here because before muting for past couple of minutes, we did mention that we may see that breakout to the downside, but whether we hold below the 53125 was the most important thing, because there was a possibility of breaking back above 53125, but we just broke back down below it. So we're going to keep a close eye on it to see if we can sustain the move to the downside, or if this is just a false break to trap in the shorts into thinking, yay, we're going to break down and then we'll just rip the market higher. So we've got to be careful here. This level has shown a lot of interest at 53125. Must stay patient. Of course, if you're a range trader, well, if you scalp the range, this is great price action for you. Currently have 50 minutes remaining of the session. 50 minutes, that's the timer. We've got a 2-hour time stop on our trading. Possible long coming up here on NQ. Just looking at the higher time frames, are seeing those buyers step in, especially on the break of the lows. Mentioned how earlier how strong those lows were, and with the buyers stepping in, there is a possibility that I might flip my bias long, but I have to be very careful considering the series of lower highs that we do have today. So the more conservative approach would be to wait for those highs to be broken and to really put some pain on the sellers. But if I am aggressive, I would get in before those. Uh, but again, that would, show a lot of a lack of respect for the sellers to do that. So, quite in two minds at the moment, whether I'm going to wait for the highs to be broken and any possible stops there to be taken out before waiting for a pullback to go long, or whether to get in before we get to those highs. Of course, the highs that are closest to us, being around about 53, are going to be the ones that we're going to use as a reference point. I'm going to maintain some flexibility in my approach. There still remains a possibility of another lower high being posted here. We are continuing the grind higher. So what we were waiting for did actually happen. We did see that breakout back above 53. Saw that move. So we saw the falls break down all the way down towards that 20, consolidated, broke these highs just here on NQ, broke these highs just here. Now we are looking for longs. So waiting for a pullback of some kind. But again, with the ranging data we've seen, got to be careful. As we can see here to the left, we've got a series of highs that we are going into at the moment. So we're just having a look, and we saw that got highs around at 64, 70, 74, and 83. So we do have quite a few highs here. That could act as an impediment towards achieving our goals. Currently have 36 minutes remaining for the end of session. Are seeing this pullback here, but bias remains long. Did not like that at all. There's far too much momentum to the downside for me. I was expecting a more shallow pullback and then continuation. But we are seeing that deeper pullback. If I were to take a long, I'd have to be really aggressive with the stop. Looking to see what price is going to do here.
Order submitted.
Okay, so I've just entered a long order.
Order filled.
Entered a long order. Let's just see. Do here. Oh my. Just waiting. Just waiting. Waiting to see if the buyers can step back in. They can't. I'm gonna have to get out. I'm out.
Order filled.
They got me. I got in near the highs. Market didn't follow through. Did mention that 53 earlier in the broadcast. And they got me.
Order filled.
I've just got
Target
back in
filled.
long.
Target filled.
Got back in long.
Target filled.
All targets hit.
Order filled.
Just got in looking for that breakout. Looking for the breakout.
Target filled.
Just looking for
Target
that breakout.
filled.
Looking for that breakout. Looking for that breakout to the
Target
upside.
filled.
There we go. Back positive on the day. Not quite where we were at the highs. Not quite where we were at the highs. That second trade I just took was not part of the plan. Poor discipline on my part. It did work in my favor, but it was not part of the plan. Oh, the two I've just taken actually. So uh, this was not. This was not. This was not. They both worked out in my favor. Currently waiting to see if we can hold the breakout of these highs just here. Might have to take the executions of the chart. There we go. Just seeing that breakout right there. Just see. We did mention at 64 being a possible level of resistance here, as it was swing highs to the left. So I didn't follow part of my rules. Didn't follow part of my rules in that I took the two trades which were not part of the plan. I'm currently up to 8 for the day. Again, that should be the end of the day. Yet here I am still at the charts. Looking to get the account back up towards the highs. Failure to head lower. Seeing break of the swing highs to the upside. Back slightly positive on the day. Should count myself lucky, but looking to get the equity back towards where it was. Need one more successful trade, but as we've seen in the past, just needing one more often than not. Just that one or even a couple of ticks usually results in a good day turning into a bad day. Now, I know this, I've had experience in this, but yet I still have the strong urge. Let's just see. Seeing this pullback here from the highs. I believe that to be the 64 highs. Yeah, just around at 64 highs. Seeing that pullback here. Being biased long, I could possibly be going to the well too many times. "25 minutes remaining." Seeing the pullback. If I'm aggressive here, I'll take the next long setup. There is quite a bit of risk associated, so we're going to need a swift resolution if we do take it. Fortunately, it seems like that long setup would be taken through the highs if the move to the upside here continues, which presents its own risks because we've seen the pullback below 60 from the highs. We'll be taking a long into 70, which we've already identified as being a swing high. If we look at the charts to the left, with that, we've got some may say it's a double top. So if I don't follow the rules today, there would have to be some adjustments that need to be made. One of the adjustments, if we were to take another trade and it was to be a loser, would be to reduce the size that we're using by 50%. Seems the double top we mentioned earlier is playing out. We did mention around that 64 level that there were swing highs there. We are seeing that selling come into the market here, bringing us down to 55, still going. Got a level at 53, that's within touching distance. Just going to mute up. So I just went to do some of the tasks and I've come back and seen that there would have been a setup. Let's see what that setup would have been. It would have been a setup right here to go long. Um, you know what? Let's just,
Order filled.
if this candle closes bearish, we gain out.
Order filled.
It didn't close bearish. We got out.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Got out too early there. The move down just got us a bit scared. So
Target filled.
let's just wait for it. This candle was bearish. We gain out. So it took an unnecessary loss right there. I let speed of which the candle came
Target
down.
filled.
I let that bias my position far too much and took an unnecessary loss.
Order filled.
So the earlier loss that I took was unnecessary, and thought the candle would have closed bearish. It did not. Then having to get back in, and we've had to get out. So we're back to about flat on the day. So there is a bit of a concern now about over trading. There certainly is. Got the time stop at 17. We've gone over our allocation of 8 trades, which is not good, especially from a discipline perspective. Possibly may see a long here, not a true setup. There is a risk of it turning around off these highs. See if we're going to break out or it's going to turn around. So we'd have to be very quick on the trigger in terms of exiting. We've seen these highs around here around 64 be problematic. We've seen them be problematic. There we go.
Order submitted. Order filled.
There we go. So we're looking for that follow through to the upside. If we don't see the follow through, we're going to have to get out. If we close bearish, we're going to have to get out.
Target filled.
Not liking this at the moment. Going to stay a little bit patient. Going to stay a little bit patient. Looking for the break of the highs. Really need to see 68 here. Really need to see 68.25.
Target filled.
68.50. Come on. 69.25. Looking for that 69.25. Looking for that push for 69.25. 68.75. 2 ticks away. Oh, no, not 2 ticks. More than 2 ticks. Should have really seen the buyers come through. Hanging around here a little bit too much. Around here a little bit too much. Close bearish, I'm getting out. Close bearish, I'm getting out. There we go.
Order filled.
That was near break even again. Essentially, I'm turning my wheels and just paying fees. Currently not seeing the follow through I would want to see. did mention that there were quite a few levels here to the upside. These trades were not part of the plan again. There we are. Maybe if I'd have been a bit more patient, who knows? Not seeing the follow through to the upside, you'd be tempted to go short, but we know how this goes. I'll go short
Order filled.
and the market would pretty much just turn around. So we'll see how this works out. If of course we finish bullish, we're gonna have to get out. But we're having difficulties
Target
around
filled.
these highs. We're having these difficulties around these highs. So we'll see. The breakout continues. Again, I'm only in because of the difficulties we're having heading higher, especially around that 70. I really want to see the follow through to the downside if we're not going to hold here. Close bullish, I'm getting out. Close bullish, I'm getting out. If we close bullish, I'm getting out.
Target filled. Target filled.
And another trade that was not part of my system that I've taken, and it has worked in my favor. We're seeing the difficulties around these highs here. We broke out, didn't see the follow through, so on the bearish candle, decided to go short, and it's gone down here, all the targets to the downside here. Against the rules, we've got 10 minutes remaining. We've recovered about 50% up to where we were at the highs for the day before we continued. Now, in terms of from a discipline perspective, we've gone beyond 8, and we started the day looking at about 8 being the maximum amount we'd spend in terms of trades, and we've gone beyond that. So it's an error-prone day. Even hold on a second here. Let's just see. Encoding overload. Oh wow! Look at that. We're breaking out the highs. Breaking out the highs above 70. So somewhat fortunate in that in the bullish trade. There we go. Oh,
Order filled.
a second here. It's gone long off a setup. Not a true setup. Let's just see. This closes bearish. I'm gonna have to get out.
Target filled.
This closes bearish. I'm gonna have to get out. Looking for that breakout continuation. This should see some follow through. If it doesn't, I'm getting out. I'm not interested in being patient. Not interested in being patient here.
Target filled.
Need 74.75. Need 74.75. Finger on the trigger to get out. There we go.
Order filled.
And that was for about break even. So again, all I'm doing is paying fees. All I'm doing is paying fees. So we again, all of that was for essentially uh, $5 really, um, because yeah, it was essentially about $5. Didn't see the follow through to the upside. Had a fairly decent entry on the pullback, but we've seen this choppy grind to the upside here. We did mention the series of highs that we had to the left, around 64, 70, and so on. And we are seeing those sellers step back in and pull the market back. So we're not seeing that strong, immediate follow through to the upside that we are looking to see here to hit our target. Currently 7 minutes away from the end of session. Definitely things I need to improve on. Discipline in terms of the limited number that I said I was going to take. And I'm just going to mute up and come back. So as we were saying, what we're looking at, I think we're just going to wrap it up here. So the remaining video would run to the end, but things to improve on, discipline in terms of number of trades to take. I've gone beyond 8, a fair bit beyond. Sticking to the plan. I've got to stick to the plan, not anticipating, not just taking breakouts, because that's not what the system does. Being patient. I did that for most of the day, but as we can see, as I've gone into a hole, given back some of the profits that we made already on the day, the discipline kind of fell apart, started snatching at the market, taking breakouts, which is not part of the system, and that was primarily from losing the gains that were made earlier. I was also fortunate earlier that I took some of the early trades using MNQ. If I would have used NQ, it would have been a very different day. We're heading towards the lunch hour here, and we're seeing this grind up. Who knows, may just take one more. It would be it'd actually be funny to talk about discipline and just take one more trade.
Order filled. Target filled.
Now, if it doesn't work out, I'm going to look really silly. But see a bearish candle again out. Really need 76, 75. So we're about 1 point away. Just hit 76. Just need 76, 75. Hit 76 again. There we go.
Target filled.
And if we close bearish, I'm getting out. Close bearish, I'm getting out. Looking for 77, 75. Looking for 77, 75. Close bearish, I'm getting out.
Target filled.
All targets hit. All targets hit. Equity to the highs of the day. So, despite talking about discipline and following the plan, I've just taken that one. It's worked out in my favor. Equity at the highs for the day. Poor discipline. Very poor discipline. While recording, I said I wouldn't take any more. I did. Worked in my favor. It's not going to be good because I'm now being rewarded for doing something I said I wouldn't do. And that's the issue you will have. being reinforced, bad behavior being reinforced by the markets in terms of a positive outcome. So let's just have a quick review. We've got 2 minutes left of the broadcast. Went beyond the number of trades, um, deviated from the system, took some impulse trades, took revenge trades, invented systems on the fly, taking breakouts when that's just something we don't do, because just the nature of NQ at times. The market's in a range, taking breakouts during a ranging market. It's not as if the market has a lot of volatility and it's trending. I suppose a positive we could one of the very few positives we could take is the fact that we held relatively tight stops here, and the relatively tight stops would mean that if we were to lose on a couple of those losses, we reduced the size of the loss by simply having a tighter stop, which meant that the as the market went against us, we didn't give up as much as when we initially entered the trade. Now, if we did enter the trade and it didn't go in our favor straight away, it'd have been unfortunate, but I suppose it would have been just, because not being rewarded for not being rewarded. Oh, uh, so I'm just have something come up. So let's just have a look. I just got to turn down my mic. So not being rewarded would have been the best thing, and I have been rewarded. So I just need to be aware of that. I need to be aware of sticking to discipline, sticking to the discipline for the day, and sticking to discipline for the day. Number of trades, strategy. I'm definitely sticking to the 2 hour time window because I've got 25 seconds left. But if you've watched this broadcast all the way to the end, I'd like to thank you. If you're new here, subscribe. If you like the video, of course, like the video. If you dislike the video, of course, dislike the video. Write something in the comments. Let me know you've seen it. Let me know you've watched the video all the way to the end, or if you've skipped to the end. And I'd like to thank you for watching.